home. It's the place where we all belong, where our souls lie. No matter how far we walk, our feet finds a way back to where it all started. With the same thought in mind, I, Shreyas Jain, Alumni Coordinator, Students Council, Balaji Institute of Telecom and Management, feels extremely privileged at the august presence of our Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Chetan Bhagat, our very own beloved Bala sir, respected dignitaries, and all our lovely alumni present here today. I also want to thank my BITM family for helping us day in and day out for making this most awaited dream come true. I wish that these 2 days proved to be the best forum to relive precious moments of those 2 years at Balaji. Thank you and wish you all a great fun together.
Thank you. Now, may I call upon Mr. Aman Sureka, President, Students' Council, BITM, to deliver his address.
Leaders of tomorrow are those who create opportunities and empower people today. When you look around, you might find things that are small, insignificant, but when they have meant a lot in our lives. People who would come and go, but few touch our heart and make a lasting impact. Lessons come in as sweet memories and hashish of truths. At the end of each day, you would have been a little victorious that you were yesterday. But amidst all this, we forget to be grateful. Grateful to the force that grew in and around us, molding us to the embers that would eventually light up lives of millions. Here's to the homecomings of such embers, the embers that have turned into glorious flames, lighting and touching lives, carrying forward the legacy of BITM. Words fail to express what I feel right now as I deliver these words. Mr. Chetan Bhagat, a prodigy that has sparked the flames of love more than Bollywood could ever do. His words have never failed to inspire millions of youth who read his work. His words fill them with spirit, hope, and most essentially their will. I, Aman Sureka, President, Student Council, BITM, feel deeply honored to have been bestowed with this opportunity to welcome you all to this gathering. Signing off with the hope of making this memorable event for you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May we now call upon Dr. Rush.
Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Chetan Bhagat sir, respected Bala sir, Anand sir, Brigadier Bambani sir, all the directors, all the dignitaries on and off the dais, members of the faculty and staff, our dear alumni and my dear student managers. It gives me great pleasure to address you on this auspicious occasion of the first ever exclusive BITM alumni meet, SPARSH 2K15. A day like this is very important as it gives us the opportunity to meet with many of our dear alumni after a long time. For all of you, it is a homecoming as you all are not only going to meet each other, but also meet your former lecturers and other staff. It also enables the alumni to familiarize themselves with the developments at the alma mater. Allow me to tender my gratitude to each and every one of you for finding time to be with us. It takes a lot of adjustments to set aside time out of your busy schedules and come over to attend this event. I do hope that the experiences of these 2 days will be worth the sacrifice and adjustments you all have made. A decade ago, ours was a tiny emerging organization. Today, our alumni are bringing us laurels from across the corporate world. As alumni who truly love and faithfully support this institution, I know you share my pride in what we are doing and where we plan to go. I once again welcome all of you back and hope you all will enjoy the events and programs that your juniors have lined up for you. Welcome back again. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. May we now request our very own beloved Bala sir to bless us all with his words of wisdom.
This is the first alumni meet for almost all the past batches. We started this experiment with BITM, and since it is the first alumni meet, we propose to learn a lot of lessons out of this. First of all, we got some 300 registrations of alumni. For whatever the reasons, they are on the way. Maybe it is 2 days, so many are going to join a little later, maybe an evening they will join for the culturals and for other interactions. That's so all of you should therefore give your what you call WhatsApp or whatever it is. We all are waiting a great personality, a youth icon, and that too from our management fraternity. Is a chief guest, Mr. Chetan Bhagat, and probably they are missing it. Maybe we are recording this, we shall send them a CD. And alumni, learning is a continuous process. And I learned one lesson just now, sitting in the desk. A few days back, our friends from, it is a BITM affair, and they insisted it should be a BITM affair. They insisted that even other institutes should not be allowed to sit here. Is it when that kind of insistence was going on, I said, the auditorium is full. Again, the president proposed, there was at least 2-hour discussion on this. The discussion was whether to keep the auditorium full and to make the chief guest feel happy, or to make it an out-and-out BITM affair. But we anticipated all alumni will be there. So that was a flaw in the planning. So that's why we had to delay the process. That was one. Number two, we thought we should take this youth celebrity to the other auditorium. Probably we failed to communicate in time. It was not communicated, everything was taken for granted. So when I was sitting here at the stage, as I told, sir, probably 1 hour he finished and thereafter we'll go there, he was surprised. So we take things for granted. Whomever has briefed me, whoever was coordinating with his team there in Mumbai, have not communicated to me. And he said a word, you are in Fauji, this is not expected from you. That's a very strong statement. And I want to say, Chetan Saab, we are really sorry. We are learning. We shall learn a little more. Now, without wasting any time, I request him to come to the stage, maybe after his introduction. Whether you need an introduction, you need not need. We don't need any introduction. And from there, we will continue with the other alumni activities. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation. And we have the courage to accept our mistakes. From there we learn. That is Sri Balaji Society. We learn. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, may I request our chief guest Chetan Bhagat sir to please address the audience.
I notice a very young baby here. Is he a luminous or is he born out of an luminous? Now people have. Is he a Balaji kid? Both husband, wife? Wife. Okay. Nice to come for alumni meets. It reminds me of my own alumni meets. You basically go to see who's become more fat. Or who's looking like how. But it's also nice that the students are here. And that's why I always have a soft spot. I just found out, I don't have a very big office. I have a staff of 3. And one of the girls was a BITM girl. I was hired. A girl called Tanya Prabhakar. And she's just gone to Bangalore, but she was part of my team. And you know, when I was having a call about this, what should I talk about? So one of the issues they said was, talk about branded colleges versus BITM, how we can do, right? Things like that. how we can compete. And then a lady, she just told me that Tanya, Tanya in your team is from BITM. And I was like, I didn't even know. Because I am not that kind of person who looks at, kahan se hai ya kya hai. I'll tell you how we hire people in my company. We put it on Facebook and Twitter. That's where I have the reach. And then on Google Docs, we get the resume. So for that position, we got 5,000 resumes. Because I put one tweet, I get 5,000 resumes. And I selected Tanya because she fit. As simple as that. So I guess when I say that this branding and all that, it doesn't really matter, What matters is capability of a person. And I think that question kind of answers itself. And that's what I'm going to be talking to you about today. Right? I'm going to be talking to you about my own brand. Right? Many tell me that Chetan has become a brand now. Have I become a brand? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to be bringing out washing powder. You can dim these lights so people can see the screen. Right? Ready, sir? So that you can see. I'm going to be talking about something which I can talk about to management students. This is me and me the brand. Right? And maybe it inspires you a little bit. The topic of my talk today is entrepreneur. It's a mixture of author and entrepreneur. Because most people will, you've probably heard, as far as Indian writers go, you've probably heard of me more than other writers. Correct? If I'm doing my job right, that should have happened. Yes? Yes. People who read a lot of books here, anybody? So literature experts will say Chetan is not the best writer. Yeah, you're really making me feel welcome here. I'm not the best writer. I know. I'm the best-selling writer. You know the difference? Yeah, I know the difference. And sometimes it's okay to be best-selling. Because what my goal of writing is, I want to be best-selling. I want to be that. And most of you are in jobs, in businesses, in companies that are businesses. And it's very important to be best-selling there. Yes? Or most of you will, students here will take up jobs, will become. And I'll tell you how I have tried to do that. Without being the best author, how can I become a brand? How it happened. And maybe that is what it's going to tell you. Right? In my profession, today, because there is certain amount of success, so people say, "Arey, he went to IIT, arey, he went to IIM." But believe it or not, when I started writing, the IIT degree was a huge disadvantage. Because the first thing people would say is, "ये तो engineer है, ये कैसे लिख सकता है?" Right? But today, of course, everything kind of seems to make sense. But at that time, it wasn't. So the goal here is to try to inspire you. The goal here is to try to tell you that not to have these mental blocks. Not to have mental blocks कि मैं इस college से हूँ तो मेरा इतना ही है. Even sir, who's very confident person, told me, हमारी औकात IIM जितनी नहीं है. बोला ना सर आपने?
Yes.
ये औकात word इंडिया में ही होता है. This word is there in India. There is no equal word in English. है ना सर? Status is not औकात. वो औकात का फील नहीं आता इंग्लिश में आपको. हमारे इंडिया में ही आता ना. And मेरी औकात भी नहीं थी जो मैं आज हूँ. नहीं थी. I was born in middle class family. I didn't have very good marks in class 10. I had 76%. And yeah, people are like 76%. इसको किसने बुलाया है? सर जब सक्सेसफुल हो जाता है वो सब अच्छा लगता है. आज सक्सेसफुल होता तो कहता हूँ मैं 5वीं में फेल हो गया था वो भी चार्मिंग लगेगा. It's a funny thing, success. But that was my path. सच बता रहा हूँ. And in fact that is when the world told me इसके औकात एक mediocre student की है, ये इतना ही कर सकता है. That is when I said कि चेतन पढ़ ले बेटा, खुद ही कुछ कर ले और तो कोई कुछ. The world doesn't care about you anymore. At 15-16 it was decided कि चेतन तो इससे ज़्यादा नहीं कर पाएगा. And that's when I said कि करना है जो खुद ही करना है. And that's how I started training for IIT on my own because the world had said no more औकात. You know, when I'm that old, you can tell now from my beard also, which is matching your. That is a coincidence. Actually, he told me कि ये event है तो मैंने ये photo देख के फिर method acting. No. So उस time पे there was this hot new thing. Like you have apps today, you know all these .com startups and apps. At that time there was this thing called STD booths. Front row वालों को पता है STD booths क्या होते हैं. Back row guys don't know much. We are all over it. So there were these STD booths because believe it or not, you could not call anyone in India just like that, like you do on your phone today. You had to go queue up in an STD booth. After 10 o'clock it used to be cheaper. After midnight even cheaper. And then Sundays was cheaper. Bilkuli, it was, and we were happy with it. We felt it's the greatest invention in mankind has had. I wanted to open STD booth. मैं कहा ये बेस्ट जॉब है. लोग आएंगे पैसे देके जाएंगे. जब कोई नहीं आ रहा तो लड़कियों को फोन कर लो. It's my life plan. I thought ये मेरी औकात. ये मैं कर लूँगा और एक दिन मेरे 2 बूथ होंगे और एक दिन मेरे 4 बूथ होंगे. And I would have arrived in life. My strength is connect, and if I'm connecting with you, I told you it's really fun when kids are listening. So, and that was okay. I mean, the people around me said, हाँ ठीक है, अच्छा plan है, STD booth कर लेगा ना, हाँ कर लूँगा, right? And I said, okay. That was it. That was going to be me. Because मन में आ गया था ये औकात है, औकात. Very strange thing. एक बार मन में बैठ जाए तो आदमी को it doesn't let it go. It's like a cage. मेरी इतनी औकात है यार, मैं तो इस शहर से हूँ, मेरे मम्मी पापा तो इतना ही कमाते हैं, मैं इतना कर लूँगा बस, इससे आगे थोड़ा कर सकता हूँ, right? But once you break this औकात, then there is no limit, right? Then at least mentally there is no limit because half the problem in life is this औकात. Anyway, that's serious हो गया. One of the first things I had to do as an entrepreneur was to sell my marriage to my family. शादी नहीं होगी तो बच्चे नहीं होंगे, बच्चे नहीं होंगे तो सब सक्सेस का फायदा क्या है ना? आगे वंश चलेगा तभी तो. So now I had like the Tamilian girl, as the whole country knows by now, right? I don't know, something about Tamilians or something. But my mother, I'm Punjabi, so my mother was like, ये क्या कर लिया तुमने? How can you do this? Right? अब मम्मियों को ये नहीं पता कि इतनी मुश्किल से तो लड़की पटती है. So I had to convince her to let me marry a Tamilian girl. I had to convince her how Tamilian girls are better than Punjabi girls. How many Punjabi girls are there? Okay, fine. So for the next 5 minutes, please excuse me. Because I will tell you how I used my MBA knowledge, my scientific knowledge to prove that Tamil girls are better than Punjabi girls. Now you don't mind the 5 Punjabi girls in the audience. आप मुझे मिले नहीं उस टाइम, नहीं तो एक अलग शायद फिर वन स्टेट होती है. But I thought I'll open my this with this why Tamil girls are better. अब सर बहुत चक्कर में पड़ गए हैं. किसको बुला लिया, है ना सर? मेरा काम तो युवा को मार्गदर्शन देना है।
कुछ भी बोलो,
हाँ।
अच्छा है।
Luckily, sir is not Punjabi. नहीं तो आदमी लग गया था। So I thought I'll use science to tell my mother. To tell her. So. Punjabi food, butter, lassi, दूध, मक्खन, over time, north south gap आ ही जाता है. Shopping expenses. Delhi, if you go, so many boutiques, so many. Not that Tamil girls aren't catching up, but still. Books read, you know, I'm an author. Dance steps note. My wife learned Bharatanatyam for 12 years and she's still learning. I don't know what. But in Punjabis there are 2 steps. पर मैं करके नहीं दिखाऊंगा. No, high hopes. No. So you know that's one thing. And finally, deal clincher was this mother-in-law argument frequency. You know. 2 Punjabi girls, same house, 2 hungry tigers, same cage. Finally, this came to conclusion, don't be against interstate marriages. And then I got married, then came the book, then came etc. etc. So as you can see, you can be open-minded about approaching anything in life. And science se kya nahi mila, right? I want to talk back to the thing which how this happened, how my brand became, how I did it without being the best author. Because you know best तो हर कोई हो नहीं सकता and best वैसे भी कौन decide करेगा, that's also a subjective question. So I did this with this strategy I call changing the game, because I told you I am best selling, not the best, right? This is my history before writer. I was a banker. I used to work in a bank. It has got nothing to do with writing. We do tell stories to our customers, but they are different. As in Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank, house husband is not a bank. It is what I do now. My goal today is change. My goal, the reason I write is change. Change the country. People can change in different ways. You can join politics, you can be an activist, you can go on hunger strike. I can't go on hunger strike. It's too much for me. But you can change in different ways. So my strategy is this. To reach maximum number of Indians via entertainment. So you all know 2 states, you know 3 idiots, you know all these things. That is why you are attracted to come here. But today I'm not talking love stories to you. Today I'm not. And when I write my columns and everything, there I'm not talking love stories. But because of that entertainment, people are reading that. So it's 2-step process. It's a strategy, and that is why you sometimes find me doing very silly, entertaining things, like Nach Baliye. And you'll find me talking about national policy, discussing the budget, analyzing the budget, and this like, I mean, what is this guy doing? Is he gone mad? I have gone mad. But there is a method to that madness. It is first to reach, because, for example, Nach Baliye, which was the most extreme decision I ever took, it goes to chai walas and it goes to pan walas. Nothing else I do goes there. And then when they see that and next day see my article in the newspaper, they say, "ये तो Nach Baliye वाले का है, पढ़ लेते हैं." That's the strategy I have used, and it's kind of worked. It's sometimes difficult because people get confused on who you really are, but done right, it can multiply your reach. So I reinvent by changing the game, I told you. You know, in life, you'll find 2 kinds of winners. Whether it's you guys early in your careers or you guys students, there are winners who do better than others and winners who change the game. I'll give you an example. Take tennis, right? Nadal versus Federer. If Nadal has to beat Federer, he has to play better tennis than him that day. और कोई तरीका नहीं है. उसको उसे हराना है टेनिस में. If he plays better than him, he's the winner. Nadal cannot go tomorrow with the racket 5 times the size and say I'm changing the game. आज खेलते हैं. I've changed the game. You can't do it. So in certain things you cannot do that. In sports you can't do it. But in business you can. In business the rules are not fixed. In fact, in business the rules are changing all the time. And you can also win by changing the game. And that is what people need to learn. When you don't have that best thing, when you don't have that best brand following you, you have to win by changing the game. Because oftentimes that's how winners come up in life. They don't always do it by beating the previous guy. They just come and change the game. And I'll explain this to you. The myths are this. People say changing the game वगैरह तो यार Steve Jobs करता है. We can't do it. और एक बार हो जाए फिर लोग बोलते हैं. And it can't be learned and practiced. What can I do? I'm just a salesperson in this company. I'm just an accountant here. I just do this. How can I do? But you can, right? Because it comes from this old quote of Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin was a biologist. He studied nature. And this nature is who we are. We are also animals, right? He said this, it's not the strongest of the species that survives, not the most intelligent, but the most adaptive, right? What does this mean? The child who comes first in class, does he always get the highest salary in life? Doesn't happen, right? The smartest, most intelligent person in the country, is it necessary around the world that they have become the prime ministers or president? No. Companies also, is the CEO always the smartest, most intelligent guy? No. In fact, what happens is this. Many smart guys keep coming up, and then you have 6 people and only 1 guy can get promoted. All 6 are good. The guy who plays better politics wins. होता है कि नहीं होता? Is there any company in the world there is no politics? No. Where there are human beings, there is no politics. I heard a lot of engineers in the crowd today. How many? Okay. How many humans? Engineers can also raise their hand. Trick question. Engineers don't raise their hand. I'm not human. Engineers especially have this issue because we are trained. We are trained कि भाई science. I work hard, I get prize. I come first. Teacher rewards me. I get promotion. This is how life should be. Work hard, be intelligent, I'm smartest, I should be at the top. And then one day they realize they are in middle management and then somebody plays politics on them and poor engineer is left behind. Poor engineer goes home, tells his wife, what is this, such an unfair world? I'm smarter than that idiot who became my boss. Are you? You're smarter in technical stuff. You're smarter in knowing the business. But are you smart in politics? The time had come to change. The time had come in life to understand politics. Because you cannot, there's only one guy at the top. And if you don't understand that, and you say, no, but I know my subjects and I know my thing, well, too bad. It doesn't work. I'll give you another example. Millions of years ago, there were these creatures called dinosaurs in this world. Yeah? They were ruling the world. They would trample trees. They were the biggest land creatures ever. And then the ice started melting and they couldn't survive. And then disappeared. They're gone now. You only see them in some special effects movies. Yeah? There was another creature then, whom we don't respect at all, called the cockroach. कभी इज्जत नहीं मिलती ना cockroach को. Cockroaches are there even today. In fact, you'll find them in the poshest colonies of India. Living, I mean real cockroaches, not humans. Why? Because cockroaches are cool. They adapt. They were like, okay, yaar, we used to stay in the jungle. We'll just stay in Koregaon Park. That's okay. We used to eat leaves and insects. Now we'll eat Kellogg's. It's okay. Crunchy. They can live in cars also. I've seen them. These are everywhere. There is industries. There is an industry to eliminate cockroaches. Yes? Baygon and दुनिया भर के products खत्म है cockroach. पूरा human race लगा हुआ है. Companies चल रही हैं. नौकरियां लगी हुई हैं लोगों की, कॉकरोच हटा दो बस। नहीं हट रहे। They're like, we are here to party, we will reproduce. They are party. He never gave cockroach respect. But cockroach has adapted. He's not the most strong. He's not strong at all. He's not most intelligent creature. Just adjust कर लो यार. समय बदल रहा है, हमें भी बदलना है. This one thing in life, you know, you will go very far in your career, and nobody will teach you this, you know. And that's what I have done. Kept adapting with the times. Whatever opportunities come, you adapt. There is no rule. There is no mantra. That's how you do it. It's just that be ready for change. Because the strongest don't survive. Those who adapt. I'll give you an example when my books came out. There were writers like Arundhati Roy, Vikram Seth, Salman Rushdie. That was the world. That was the only known writers at that time. Indian writers used to write literary novels and they used to win UK prizes. And if they win UK prizes, then you get some media publicity. And then that's how that's the kind of books they wanted. Now my book was about 3 boys in engineering college, goofing around, professor's daughter. They said, how can this win literary prize? And they were right. They didn't publish it for 2 years. Finally they did. And at that time, 5,000 copies used to be bestseller. Right? But they missed one thing that was changing. See, you don't adapt just for sake of adapting. You adapt because there is something in the air. Hawa badal rahi hoti, right? And the adaptation was more and more people were learning English. And more people were learning English in India in that time when my first book came out. They were learning English, but they didn't know as much English that they can reach a Salman Rushdie. They just knew enough, but there were no books for them. Nothing. For millions of people. There is no book only for them. So 5 Point Someone was a book that everybody could understand. Stories written by an Indian for Indians. And so it came out and sold 13 lakh copies. So, actually, even I was surprised. Nobody wanted to publish it. 5,000 was the bestseller mark, and this kind of craziness is happening. So everybody was surprised, including me. But then the publisher said, you know what? If we get 10% of this Chetan's market, it's better for us. Why are we chasing this book of prize-winning books? And from that day, the industry changed, the game was changed. I was not better than those writers. I just did it differently. And today, if you go to bookstores, you'll find all kinds of books by Indian writers. Some have done well, some have not done well. It's an industry, there are literary festivals. And we hardly know about the book of prize anymore, right? I've done more books since then. You probably know many of these books. And then, how do you scale up? Because you can settle down and you can say, हो गया भाई, कर लिया, पहुंच गए, I've arrived, चेतन जी, बुके ले लो. I could do this. Or you can say, you know what? I'm going to challenge myself again. So I tried something else, which was Bollywood. Again, no advantage to being an author also. Forget IIT and movies, they just don't mix. But no advantage of being an author also because you're writing in English. And you're writing English novels. And they're like, आपको क्या पता है Bollywood के बारे में? What do you know? ये तो auto driver देखते हैं. आपको तो नहीं पता है. How will you do things here? And that's another journey at least. But again, there was some adaptation required. I had to learn how to do screenplays. I had to learn how to understand Indian audiences. I had to switch languages from English to Hindi. And since then, there have been 5 movies. 4 out of my books. And Kick was just a direct screenplay. The first movie didn't work. Which often people tell कि अरे यार काम हमेशा सीधा होता है. Success never comes to people like success. Take any successful person. Any. The pattern is success, failure, success, failure, success, failure, success. When you introduce those people later, you only talk about the success. Nobody will talk about hello when I'm introduced. But I remember it because it didn't work. In fact, it didn't work and it really made me think, what did we do wrong? Can we do something differently next time? And from next time onwards, I'm much more careful about selecting my teams for my movies. ना बने picture कोई बात नहीं. but it cannot be a badly executed effort. And so far these films have come. But there was time then for step 2. Change. I told you the goal is change. The goal is not bestseller list. The goal is not movies. That is entertainment to reach Indians, which I did. And now it's time for change. So I started writing for newspapers like in English, Sunday Times, and in Hindi now. And also it comes in some regional languages. And when you do all this, you get invited to horror shows. Don't watch this show alone. It's very scary. You can see how scared I'm looking. Because they are just like screaming at me. And he makes you fight, and everybody thinks, if you're on this show, people think that you're a big fighter cock. But actually, he likes it. It's almost like a WWE of news, right? I think one day, some channel will come up with this idea that it's okay to hit each other. And then, the real news debates will happen. I also did this, as you saw. It was a crazy decision. A lot of people criticized me. आप इतने बड़े बुद्धिजीवी हो. First, I didn't even know I'm बुद्धिजीवी. And why are you doing this? How can you do dance show? आप IIT से हो. Now surgeons, doctors who are surgeons, they don't dance at their own wedding. They must be, no? I hope so. Everyone can have a fun side. And I told you, my reason was reach. This 13 days of work I did, it's only on Sundays judges come. 13 episodes, 13 days. Has given me more recognition in some ways than all the other work I've done in the past. Because a lot of people watch it. So I don't care. But I had to learn new things. No advantage of being a scriptwriter or a novelist or a column writer to face the camera. You have to learn, you have to know, you know nothing about it. They do makeup for 45 minutes. I'm looking like my own son here. Right? But this is the magic of makeup, huh? It's not just me. All others have been improved. And I do these talks. And another thing that started was Twitter and Facebook. It wasn't there when I started. And a lot of writers don't do this. They're like, I'm a novelist, I write books. What is this tweeting, shweeting? I can't do this tweeting, shweeting. For me, Twitter is the new literature. It's the change, adapt. Say what you have to say in one line. Say it in a book. Say it in one line. Not easy. Difficult. But today, sometimes my tweets have more impact than my columns. Sometimes they create a lot of trouble for me also. But that's part of the job. I'm not here to always be liked. Especially when you're talking about policies, you talk about political stuff. Politics is a strange profession. Even if you praise someone, that person's opponents will hate you. Right? आपने उनकी तारीफ कैसे कर दी? What are you? चमचे हो आप? अरे नहीं, मेरे को अच्छा लगा उनका plan. आप चमचे हो. So that's what Twitter has become. But you kind of keep going, you keep adapting, you keep learning, and slowly this becomes a very powerful source of influence. So this is my organization structure, this is my brand. Books is just one thing, and that is why you've heard of me more. That is why I'm best selling. Because books is only one thing. This book is now 20% of my revenues. It's films, print media, stage, social networks, and television. I told you, educational institution had little to do with it. I'm not discounting. What they did contribute was IIT gave me a great story in 5 point something. It was good research. And I really love my alma mater. I've done a lot of things for them. But a lot of places I couldn't use that card. I couldn't use that card to get all these things. What worked was adapting a certain sense of entrepreneurship, a certain sense of doing something that hasn't been done before and just going for it, you know. One question also, last segment of mine is, why challenge yourself? क्यों करना है ये सब? It's very important to answer this for yourself. Because unless there is a fire in your belly, no matter how much the best teaching is given to you, you will not go and get it. Why is sir doing it? Why is he opening a college? He can just chill. No? So you can chill now. He is chilling. Right? Lot of people are working. And why do they do it? Because we have this middle class notion is there that one day I'll make enough, then I have to do nothing. Right? It's an Indian culture thing. You often say, that girl got married there, वहाँ उसे उंगली भी नहीं उठानी पड़ती. राज करती है वो. रानी की तरह. टच स्क्रीन के लिए भी नहीं उठाती. उंगली भी नहीं उठानी पड़ती. That is considered the ultimate in life. To do nothing. And sir is here at this age, working. Sir, Raj karo aap bhi. But why don't people do? Because can you imagine how boring that life would be? When you have to do nothing. How terrible. How will you do? Just being at home, doing nothing. But that's what we used to feel. Ye hai life. This is what is going to make me happy. The other thing we have in India is this thing called settled. जैसे औकात एक वर्ड है, आप मैट्रिमोनियल्स खोलो, सबको वेल सेटल्ड लड़का चाहिए. वेल सेटल्ड. सेटल्ड पता ना, सेडिमेंटेशन पढ़ा था, जो नीचे आके बैठ जाता है वो सेटल हो गया. नो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, नो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, नो रिस्क टेकिंग. महीने के महीने सैलरी आनी चाहिए, वो अच्छा लगा. और लड़की सबको चाहिए होती है होमली. व्हाट इज होमली? और टेल मी व्हाट इज नॉन होमली? भाग जाती है घर से वो, चेन लगा कर घूम करती. क्या मतलब है? आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड सम ऑफ दिस. ओके, बट दैट्स व्हाट वी फील. मैं नौकरी करूंगा, मैं कमाऊंगा, सेटल हो जाएंगे, बच्चे हो जाएंगे, हो गए हैं कहीं, हो गए और बस हो गया, हमारी लाइफ हो गई. अब टाटा स्काई देखो, मरने का इंतजार करो. हो गया ना, अभी हमारा टाइम तो हो गया. वी आर डन. Because I meet a lot of people like you, especially the alumni now. The people you're working now for a few years, right, all of you. So I meet a lot of professionals, and since it's for them, and it applies to students also. 3 kinds of people I meet. There are 3 states of living they have: exist, fading, and alive. Right? And I'm going to explain this to you. Exist is this most people who are like neither happy nor sad. जो settle हो गए. Right? लाइफ चल रही है, धीरे धीरे पैसे बढ़ रहे हैं, कार आ गई, घर आ गया, बर्थडे पार्टी हो गई बच्चों की, लाइफ चल रही है. कैसे लाइफ? ठीक है, सेम है ना सर? अब कैसा है? नॉर्मल सर. सेटल हो गए. If I told you Deepika Padukone is outside standing there, you'll all run out. मुझे अपनी इम्पोर्टेंस पता है. Now, कहते हैं अभी हम बड़े हो गए, अभी अब एनर्जी नहीं हम में हो. बच्चों का टाइम है, स्टूडेंट्स का टाइम है ना सर? तो जब दीपिका पादुकोणे तो एनर्जी कहाँ से आ गई? It's not energy, it's motivation. Know the difference. If you're motivated to do something, you will do it. Age का कोई फर्क नहीं है, stage of life का कोई फर्क नहीं है, motivation होता है. How many of you here can paint? देखो सर, इतने बड़े हॉल में 10, 20 people. Okay, fine. I asked this question, sir. I went to school, my kids' school. I have 10 boys. वो 4 साल हैं, बड़े हो. I asked 4-year-old class, how many of you can paint? बताओ क्या आंसर है? Everyone is there. यहाँ 10 लोगों ने किया, 5 सबने किया. आप सब लोग 4 साल के होते हैं, आप सब लोग हाथ ऊपर खड़ा करते हैं. आज नहीं. क्यों? क्योंकि एक सर्टेन एज पे आपके दिमाग में होगा तुझसे नहीं होगा, तू रह गया. जैसे औकात वाला ब्लॉक है, एक और ब्लॉक नहीं कर सकते. तुम रिस्क नहीं लेना, अभी तुम सेटल हो जाओ. तो मैं पेंटिंग, अरे हो सकता है दीवार पेंट करने की बात होगी, बट नहीं करो। अच्छा बच्चे ऐसे नहीं होते, किड्स आर नॉट लाइक दिस, kids are born to take risks, kids, human beings are not meant like that. This little boy is, look at him, fiddling away with the roses, figuring out kuch karna hai. He's not sitting still, he doesn't care what's going on. That's how वो फितरत है हमारी, this is how we all were. But life ने फिर ऐसे थप्पड़ लगाए, एक के बाद एक, हाथ में तो करो बैठो। बट व्हाट हैपेंस अगर आप ऐसे रहोगे तो फिर आप फेडिंग में चले जाओगे थोड़े दिन में। अगर आप ऐसे रहोगे तो आपको धीरे धीरे यू विल बिकम मोर अनहैप्पी देन हैप्पी। दीस आर पीपल हु ऑलवेज क्रिपिंग इन लाइफ, कुछ नहीं हो रहा यार, सब बेकार है, एटीट्यूड नेगेटिव, माइल्ड डिप्रेशन हो जाता है। ये ऐसे लोग हैं जिन्हें आप लिफ्ट में डालोगे ऊपर ऐसे जाना पड़ेगा, मैं दोबारा एंड देन यू आर पीपल हु आर अलाइव, एज की बात नहीं है, दे आर अलाइव, दे आर फुल, दैट बच्चों वाला स्पार्क होता है उनमें, that they always have it. And you take the average age of our politicians, 120. Look at them when they fight on TV. So much energy, so much spark, passion. So dekh lo, right? It's just there. He had to tell me so many things since morning. अच्छा पता ये हो रहा है. Then you know we are doing this. Then we are doing that. Then we are doing this. Why? Spark there. Like that child and him is same. Same, something is in common. How is that? Is he superhuman? How is he able to do this? Is it just the way he is? Or can you also be like this? Yes, you can. And why does this happen? Why is somebody exist? Why is fading? Why is someone alive? I'll give you my theory. Another graph. But just an illustrated graph. This is what I think happens in life. You take a new challenge, you get very excited. कोई नया challenge आया लाइफ में, जरूरी नहीं है करियर का हो, कुछ भी हो सकता है. It can be fitness challenge, it can be diet, it can be anything, right? And then over time, that existed, and then over time fading. First day you got a job offer, so excited, told all your friends. Read that offer letter 20 times. Read the dental benefits. कि अगर दांत का दर्द हो गया, अरे वाह यार, कब होगा? 5 years later ask, how is the job? अरे वही कंपनी है यार. Nothing, same company, nothing is changing. Stuck. Why? That offer letter excitement, because that's how we are. That's how human beings are. तभी we have progressed so much. जानवर ऐसे नहीं होते. गाय को घास खिला दो, वो रोज खाती रहेगी. Human beings will eat, then next they want to cut it, then they want to cook it, then make it shade. They're never happy. They get used to it, and then they. The question is, are we bound to be sad? Are we bound to be मतलब miserable only? Life में कहीं ना कहीं जाके दुखी होना ही है क्या? That's not true. And here's how I do it. I add more challenges because that allows me to stay in that zone. If you keep on adding challenges, you will always be happy. He keeps on opening colleges, he keeps on doing things, he stays excited. I keep on doing things. Yes, I'm doing it for change, I'm doing it for this. But the reason I'm doing all these different things is mostly for myself. Because the day I become settled, the day I start feeling, abhi ho gaya, you know, ab aage ka hai, I will not feel good. I'll get into that exist, and I want to keep that spark, and that is what lets me keep it. So always in life, get a challenge for yourself. If you are here, try to be here. If you are here, here. कहीं पे भी हो, you never ever stop learning, never ever stop doing a challenge. I remember Nach Baliya mein, my contract said, you know, I had fear of dancing all my life. It's another secret why I did that show. I had fear. मैं अपनी शादी में भी I didn't dance. तो वैसे Tamilians they don't dance. पंजाबीज का डांस देख के वैसे मैंने कहा शादी में कैंसिल कर दी. So, but I didn't. And then I did the show as a judge, and my job was the relationships aspect. It's a relationship plus dance show. They said and my contract said he will not dance. He will not be made to dance. So fine. But this is a custom in the final episode, everybody dances. All judges also dance. Okay, yaar, ये तो मुझे पता नहीं था. I said, नहीं sir. And would you like to do it? We'll help you. But and I went back and slept at night. And I said, you know what? If I don't do this, I will never dance in my life. The fear will come 10 times. Because I quit. If I do it, I'll make an ass of myself in front of the whole country. Not just my relatives. But I'll overcome that fear. And you know, life में क्या होता है? एक fear overcome कर लो ना, 10 और जगह के fear overcome हो जाते हैं. I don't know why it is. You fight one fear, 5 other fears go away. You win at one thing, you feel you can win at 4 other things. It's just how confidence and fear works. So there you go. I did it. Made a fool of myself. At age 41, first time. But that's it. People ask me for tips. How do you maintain number one? You lead the industry. I often don't think my competition is other writers. I never think that. My competition is WhatsApp and Candy Crush. Because that's what youngsters are doing. I need to get them away from that and read books. It's very hard. Those are latest technologies. Books are 1,000 years old. And I want to change the country also through books. So it's triply hard. Right? So, if I write how to change India, is anybody going to leave Candy Crush? But if I say half girlfriend, चलो कल खेल लेंगे देखें तो सही क्या. That's fun. That's how it's all strategy. Okay? So, and passion shows. When you're passionate about something, it shows. From a speaker to an employee, to a writer, to a politician, to anybody, people can tell this guy has passion or not. And if it's there, you do better. And humility. I've given you a talk on success and challenges and how to do it. Another talk only is on how to manage success. Because most people can't manage it. And I call it the speed breakers of arrogance. Because once you get success, it goes to your head. You start feeling, "Arey yaar, hoga kuch mujhme." And then the growth stops. Then arrogance, speed breaker, and it's gone. And another good thing about taking on challenges is it keeps you humble automatically. And humility is good business. Nobody can be in business and have ego, right? Because you have customers, you have audience, you have readers. How can you have ego? So when I do a Nach Baliye, this guy was not even class 8 pass. And he was teaching me how to dance. It didn't matter. My resume didn't matter. I had to move my legs the way he says. How does it matter if I went to IIT or IIM? But he taught me, and he was my guru for the next 5 days. And I learned from him. And I said, wow, what you have, I never have. Because he was just amazing. And that kept me humble. I felt, okay, yaar, itni bhi koi khas baat nahi hai. I can't do what he's doing. So keep that humility always, It's all very good to be successful and all that. But humility alone will get you so far in life. Just this. Kaam chahe kam bhi aata ho, it's okay. But humility is very important. He's so busy improving himself that you have no time left to criticize others. It's another thing I keep telling people. Because we like to gossip, we like to complain about others. But if you look within ourselves, कितनी चीजें हम अपने अंदर हैं, जो हम बदल सकते हैं, हम बेटर कर सकते हैं. We should focus on that. 5 things I can tell immediately if I look, अरे यार, what do I need to work on? And then if I actually start working on them, I'll have no time to criticize others. And people, to come back with the first call I had with the faculty here who said, what do we do about our name, college? A college takes a long time to get established. It's just the nature of the business. No college has become instant overnight because reputation based takes decades, and this is well on its way, and it's going to happen. But people, I remember this when I was in IIT also, and somebody asked me, how do you look at your brand name? And I said, some people benefit from their college and some colleges benefit from their people. You are at the stage where the college has to benefit from the alumni. You have to do well, step 1. And two, when you do well, you have to say, I'm from this college. That's how the connection will form. You know, either your college makes you proud or you make your college proud. And that is what I feel I have contributed to my own colleges. Today people think of me and they think of my college. And then same thing I hope you will do. Add a little bit of contribution of your own to building the reputation of your college. And I'm sure it will happen. It was lovely talking to you. Lovely morning with you guys. Thanks for coming all the way with your kids. And I wish you guys all the success in life.
Now the house is open for an interaction with the guests.
Yeah. I have time for a few questions. Any question, it doesn't have to go.
Hi Chetan,
Hi.
I'm Mudasar from the benchmark batch. So I just wanted to ask you, when can we see you in politics?
You guys, okay, okay, let's do this. Okay? How many think I should join politics? And how many things I should not join politics? कर लिया सर. So जनता का फैसला. I don't think, you know, there are pros and cons. Clearly some people, okay, let's ask, how many, anybody who said I should join, why should I join? Okay, then I'll go to someone who said I should, why I shouldn't join. Yeah.
You're a good orator. You can motivate people with your...
Okay, I'm a good orator, so I have one skill for it. Okay, maybe. But why should I join?
So you understand young people well, and that's what we need to do.
Okay.
So actually you can motivate the young people because today politicians need the youth orator and youth leader to guide them.
Hannah Rahul. Okay, who said no? Most people said no. So why did you guys say no? Interest and my interest and my party's interest will all get aligned. Maybe in 20 years, India's politics will change. People will not vote on what they vote right now. So then, who knows? But I don't see it happening right now. I just, you know, I feel it's better what I'm doing from here. Everybody reacts to me. Everybody, I've been able to influence public opinion on a lot of issues in the last 12 months. So that's, I think, a better place to be.
Good afternoon, sir. Rao Singh Chawla, towards your left.
Yeah.
Sir, it's Rao Singh Chawla from Bimachari. Pen is mightier than the sword, and this is the news we've been hearing since the last few days, last few months rather. The writers are returning Sahitya Academy Awards, and I've been long waiting to hear an answer, an opinion from a writer, and thanks to the college that they gave me the opportunity. I want your opinion on that.
Sir, मुझे तो award मिलते नहीं तो मैं क्या लौटाऊँ?
But उस industry से तो belong करते हो.
Well, I mean, I think I have given my views on it. That issue is kind of like gone now. I feel कि जब कोई आपको सम्मान देता है तो आप वो लौटा नहीं सकते. You know, you can't. I mean, I got a bouquet here. Can I return that bouquet? Yeah, the physical flowers I can return, but the love, respect, affection I got on stage, can I return that? I can never return it. So once you've accepted it, you cannot return. Secondly, I feel those awards are meant to be given by independent juries. So why are you like, you know, it tarnishes the award. अब इस साल जिसको भी वो award मिलेगा, तो लेगा अरे ये तो वो वाला award है जो लौटाते रहते लोग. You know, इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है? ये तो वैसे political award है. So it kind of has that. And the second thing was what they were talking about, that India has become intolerant country. That I feel थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया. You know, India has always been tolerant and intolerant. दोनों हैं. हर देश ऐसा होता है. आप USA भी देख लो, कहने को सबसे free, सबसे liberal democracy in the world. But वहाँ भी the guy leading in the polls right now is Donald Trump, who's making all kinds of crazy statements, and he's leading. So is America tolerant or intolerant? You can't answer that. Like there is no one answer. So that is where I feel थोड़ा that's not my way of doing things. But maybe they say that this is the only way we'll get attention. So maybe that's. But I personally don't support that. Okay, I have to meet your other bachcha. So last 3 questions. Okay.
Sorry to use this platform for asking personal questions.
Actually, it's just for my clarification. Sir, जो आता है वो करो या जो कहा जाता है वो करो. That's been we've been hearing in last half an hour. So what's your comment? Like कि हमको जो आता है वो करें, उसमें भी excel, or like we've been teaching for so many lectures and everything. जो कहा जाता है वो करो.
Well, I think it's a balance. I think it's a balance. Largely, you know, I have followed my own ways. I have followed. Largely, I have followed what works for me is when I listen to myself more and outside less. It becomes more difficult when you become famous. Because what is fame? Fame is a lot of people noticing, a lot of people telling you their judgment on you. In that, to keep your inner voice becomes very difficult. But I listen to everyone, but ultimately I do still, ultimately even the closest people I listen to, but I still do what I feel like doing for me. So, I don't know if that answers much.
So like how an MBA institute can change their system, like because they are being telling them you have to do this thing, आपको ये curriculum follow करना है, but at the end when you realize कि जो आपको आता है आप वो कर रहे हो, then you excel. So
see, that course is good. I like the MBA course a lot because in a very short period of time you learn around 20 disciplines. Right? There is no course like that which teaches you so many things. It teaches you accounting, it teaches you organizational behavior. It kind of makes you ready for business. And I think that way, do that course. Like when you are listening, you listen to people. Even if you have to do it your own way. I may not agree with everything my MBA taught me. I may agree with 6 things out of 10. 4 things I still do it my way. But I listen to what. I listen that okay. I choose कि हाँ ये मुझे पता है ऐसे कह रहे हैं लेकिन मेरे को नहीं लगता ऐसे करना है. So I think it's when you listen, when you absorb, you fully absorb. When you are doing your MBA program, and it's a busy program, you focus fully on it because it's actually a 4-year degree compressed to 2 years. You know, so you focus on that, and then real life will teach you what to take and what not to take. You know, it's not a fixed set of rules. They are just guidelines on how to conduct business, how to do this. And when you actually go into the real world, you will see कितना आपके काम आता है नहीं. Everybody के लिए unique. Okay, last. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, myself Nilesh. I'm from batch ICDM 2006 and 8. And see, here it was great session and very much motivating for the orthopedics. It was great, really. And see, I want to ask you now, when you started with like your story and growth and challenges and this kind of thing. So just my little question is, where you feel you see yourself after 10 years? It's like
yeah, this is a very interview question, no? होता है. And I always used to get very nervous. 10 साल बाद सर क्या नहीं सकते? 10 दिन बाद नहीं पता. Correct, and it's for me. It's a very. I asked that to myself, and I really don't know because if I look 10 years back, and someone had asked me that question, Chetan, where do you see 10 years back? So 10 years back would have been 2005. I had like 2 books out, or yeah, 2. Just one night at a call center had come out. It was around this time. And someone asked me, I was still working at the bank. I was like, pata nahi, I'd probably have saved enough money and this that. And then life took a totally different turn. So I've stopped planning that way. What I can say is I want to do more creative work. I want to do some really. I still feel the best stories are yet to come from me. Okay, one is that I want to have more balance. I'm not that young anymore. I want to have more work-life balance in the next 10 years, and I want to really have an impact. But किधर होगा 10 साल बाद? I really don't know. We don't know what medium is going to evolve, right? Twitter wasn't there, Facebook wasn't there, so I may be in that medium. Maybe I have gone totally digital. Maybe I'm still in books. I don't know what I'll be doing in that the medium and all. But I know my goal. That is all I now do. I don't try and plan कि 10 साल बाद यहाँ पे बनना. And I think that's a better way to tell yourself कि हाँ, I want to become very good at marketing. I want to be one of the most regarded guys in my industry in 10 years. Then where you end up will happen, right?
Thank you very much.
My question is, amidst all your naysayers and controversies you are surrounded around, how do you keep your momentum going? What is the secret of such optimism that you carry on?
it's not always there. They sometimes do get me, you know. There's a lot of criticism on the internet nowadays for all celebrities. It's not just me. And for me, it is multiplied because I'm giving opinions. If you just say hello, hi, happy Diwali, what are people going to say? But if you say, no, I think this government is doing this right and this government is doing this wrong, oh my God, people are going to get very, very upset, right? And so I get that. And you know, there is this thing, people say become thick-skinned to criticism. And it's not possible. You are humans and I'm a writer. And if I become thick-skinned, I will not feel emotion. I will not feel, and that will come in my writing. I will become a thick-skinned writer, and that will be no fun. So, the analogy often given is that of a lotus. Have you seen lotus? It's never dirty. It's in the Kichad mein ugta hai, lekin it's never dirty. You know why? The scientific reason why it's never dirty? Everything around it is dirty, but lotus is not never dirty. The reason is it's coated with wax. It's a thin layer of wax on every lotus petal, and that nothing sticks. So what that means is, you can be soft, you can be emotional, but don't let anything stick. What does that mean? Don't let praise also stick. The best way to deal with criticism, don't let praise affect you too much. I don't let praise affect me. In fact, I feel very uncomfortable. Sir is saying such nice things. Even my father-in-law has never said things like that. So, you know, aap chalo sir, huh? Bolo ye sab baat. But like, I genuinely I feel like, arey yaar, aise matlab. And I've heard that Rahman, when he goes to a concert and he gets, people go crazy over his concerts, they're cheering, they're saying you're amazing, you're great. He goes home and he first prays for 20 minutes and just offers it all out. He's like, I don't want this to be, because if it's in you, then your head will become big and then you get attached to it, right? And then tomorrow someone criticizes you, it hurts more. So no praise, no criticism to let affect you too much. Just gracefully, like from the wax, it just floats away. So I think that's all.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, this has to be the last one because we have to go now, sir. They are ready there? Yeah. There's another young kids waiting.
So I have a question, sir. So my question is that is there something with numerology with you, because most of your books have numbers in them.
All.
And yeah, one night at the call center, 2 states,
because I'm an engineer and it's my of those days when I used to be a numbers guy and now I'm a words guy, and it's my little thing, and now it's become a trademark, and now people will be very disappointed if there is no number. So it's going to be there in the next one also. Hopefully next October. Okay, sir, thank you so much.